Hello everyone, and it's Ryan Ed, in case you're wondering about that. My name is Ryan Edward, but everybody called me Ryan Ed when I was in trouble, especially my parents, and so when I was a kid, it'd be, if they'd say Ryan Ed, I was in trouble. If they said Ryan Eddie, they was just wanting me. But if I was in trouble, it was, Ron Ed, get down here. So it kind of stuck because in my younger days, I was in trouble a lot. Got spankings, got a lot of spankings. Not nearly as much as I deserved, but I got a lot of spankings. But anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is I haven't been making videos on the Las Vegas shooting at all. I haven't really put a whole lot of my 2 cents into the Vegas shooting. I want to start off by saying I don't believe they're telling us everything. I believe they're trying to hide something. I believe there's a cover-up. I don't believe that you go and kill 58 people and wound 500 and some more without a major either problem with humanity, mental problem of some sort, obviously. There's a motive somewhere, and they're just either refusing to tell us what it is, or they don't know. And they really don't know, and that's what's scary, is if they really don't know, then what the heck have they been investigating for the last year and several months? The Las Vegas YouTube community has, I believe, done a better investigation than the LVMPD. Having said that, there has been a channel that I really, really respect. I really like him. He's put a whole lot of effort into this, just as a bunch of other creators, and I do not want any of them to think that I'm trying to disrespect them at all. I just want to maybe give some food for thought. And that food for thought is simply this. The one guy says it breaks the narrative that the 95 round, the gun that fired 95 rounds, was on top of the gun that fired 100 rounds. And then there was another gun that fired 95 rounds that was on top of a gun that fired 21 rounds. Now, do I know what happened? Was I there? No. But I do find it plausible, just plausible, that while he was at the window shooting, that he had more than one gun set up at the window shooting. He might have had both the 95 round, the gun that shot 95 rounds there, and the gun that shot 100 round there, and so that it wasn't getting cluttered up right there at his quote-unquote sniper's nest, he picks both of them up at the same time and slings them down into those 2 horseshoe chairs pushed together, not really paying much attention to which gun lands first, And that's just a plausible explanation for that. And then after he throws those down, he goes and grabs 2 more guns and takes them to his sniper nest, fires them, takes those, throws them down, goes to the next one, goes and fires those. The notion that the only way the 95 round gun can be on top of the 100 round gun is if the whole narrative is completely wrong doesn't sit well with me. But now let me make one thing clear. I am not a narrative hugger. I don't believe that it happened the way that the LVMPD says it did. 99.9% sure on that. He had help somewhere, somehow. He had help. The fact that MGM is, being sketchy about the whole thing, trying to cover their backsides for on liability. Obviously they're the ones that's, calling the shots, so to speak, because, they have the money, and the money is power, and they can get things done that the average person can't, and, it's sad, especially for the victims, because they're going to get hoodooed in this place. The only reason that, they're going to get hoodooed in this case, and the only reason that these casinos make the money that they do is because of those customers that are getting screwed. Because all those people that were out there having a good time, drinking and watching a country music festival, most likely when the country music festival is over, what are they going to do? They're going to go, have a few drinks, maybe, play some blackjack, whatever. They could have been up to, the concert was supposed to end at 11:30, 12, something like that, I don't know. But, after that, they're liable to go to the casino and waste a bunch of money because they're in a good mood. They're half drunk. They've just, been partying, with Jason Aldean. They're all going to be, in a great mood. So, I just don't understand that. Now, I guess the main thing I'm getting at is, while, yes, if he only picked up and used one gun at a time, I agree with you. You know who you are. I'm not going to call your name out, but you know who you are, that claim to have wrote the narrative. But maybe you did. Maybe you're right. If he only picked up one gun at a time, yeah, I'm behind you. I'm just saying that there's a possibility, and a good one, that he had more than one gun with him when he was standing over next to, at the sniper's nest shooting, and when he carried those guns and pitched them in those horseshoe chairs that had been pushed together, he wasn't really paying attention to which gun he throwed in first and second, so it's hard to tell, which order he put them in there. He might not necessarily put in there in the order that they were shot. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't Stephen Paddock. But like I said, on the other hand, I do think he had help. I don't think they're telling us everything. And I do believe that there was more than one person in that room. I think that, that something fishy is going on. How a security guard who's supposed to watch out for things like this, how he can miss a thing as big as a food cart with all those wires coming off of cameras laying right there in the middle of the hallway, and he misses those. Who's to say he didn't miss somebody walking right by him? A man walking right by him bugging out because, he's getting the heck out of there, so he is not implicated in this crime and letting Paddock take the fall for himself or whatever, I mean, we all know that Paddock was dead long before SWAT went in there. Looks like he was shot twice, one in the chest and one in the head. Don't know that for sure. I didn't do the autopsy, but it sure looked like he had a gunshot wound in his chest and in his head. Not many suicides done that way, But then I'm not a suicide expert, but I couldn't imagine shooting yourself twice, But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my 2 cents on it. But one thing I have seen that there's so much bickering going on and a lot of egos out there that And some, I think, are more concerned about being right than they are getting to the truth. And that's not, I'm not necessarily aiming that toward that one guy in particular, because I think he's a very nice guy, and I don't really think that he's one with the big ego. I really don't. I think he's a nice guy. He causes issues. I think he gets a little excited and doesn't think everything through and all the possibilities through on how, those guns could have got separated. I mean, if you're taking if you're removing two guns away from the sniper's nest to give you more room over there at a time, if you're removing two guns at a time, how do you know which one he set down first? And I forget which channel it was, but brought up I want to say it was Justice Raw, but don't quote me on that. Where he said that an AR-15 that just had 100 rounds fired through it is going to melt through a chair and maybe start a fire, because it is HOTT hot. And it seems like he just discarded it in that leather chair, nice fluffy, hoity-toity chair that's, kind of melt, with the heat of that barrel, but so it had to cool down awful fast, having said that, I'm not trying to badmouth anybody. I just been thinking about that a lot, and if the man was able to carry two guns out of his way from the window and grab two more guns, take him over there and shoot them. I mean, even though he's shooting one at a time, he's still grabbing two guns at a time to bring over there to shoot. So we're not for sure which order he laid the two guns down. And if you can, who you are, if you can correct me on that and explain to me how I'm wrong, feel free to. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to start an argument, or, it's just a debate. I'm just throwing things out there saying, well, maybe this was a possibility. So, and like I said, I'm not trying to defend Lombardo or the narrative, because I know they're filling us full of crap. But in this particular, theory, so to speak, or whatever, I don't think that that's the absolute smoking gun that is going to change this investigation completely around. Yeah, it helps to shed doubt on the official narrative, and definitely warrants some more looking into. It is possible for a man to carry two guns at once and not put them down in the order of which they were fired. And I think Farmers for Truth he just did a video not long ago talking about how, if you got two AR-15s, how in the world is the police going to know which one was shot first? I mean, really. If you got several of them, especially several of them all fired 100-round, volleys from 2-3 different guns, I forget how many it was, but, how are you going to know which one it was? That fired the 100-round volleys and when? That's just what I call guessing, and I guess they figure they can get away with guessing as long as, that there's going to be no defendant, no trial. But I honestly believe that it's kind of a conspiracy with the MGM and the LVMPD to try to, minimize the culpability of the MGM And, yeah, and if, I mean, I just watched a video, I forget who it was now. Oh, yeah, Charlton just did a video. Charlton, I hope you're okay with me using your name. But he just did a video of, just did a video of this Jesus Campos' ex-brother-in-law, and how he did an interview with, I forget the name of the news organization now, but he did an interview with them saying that, yeah, Jose Campos had interacted with Stephen Paddock beforehand. He knew who he was and everything. And his claim was that Jesus Campos said that MGM was aware of, all the luggage that Stephen Paddock had brought up to the room, the inordinary amount of luggage that he had up there, and even went so far as to say they knew that he had weapons up there, but that he was such a prolific gambler at their, casino or whatever, they kind of more or less turned a blind eye to it. And should the victim's lawyers get a hold of this information, which I couldn't imagine they won't find out, and I hope they do, because if this turns out to be true, and I don't know that it is, but if it turns out to be true that they have foreknowledge of those weapons up in that hotel room, then, the victims of those families who lost their lives and the victims who didn't lose their lives, but were, wounded quite a bit, I think that, I think that they should come out as major shareholders of MGM Resorts, and that they should be compensated heavily when the when the Mandalay and MGM staff knows that there's a guy with all those firearms. What did they think he was going to do with them? I mean, what was he going to do with them? I mean, if he's not shooting up the concert next door, wouldn't you at least be afraid that he was going to try an armed robbery of the casino, the hotel that's known for casinos and stuff with bukus of money, in the vault and in your vaults and in the cages and stuff? Makes no sense to me. I mean, that. Do I think they had any idea that he was going to shoot up that festival? No, I don't think so. But they also had a responsibility, had they known those guns were in that room, they had a responsibility to remove Mr. Paddock and the guns out of the public domain for fear that he might cause damage to, innocent bystanders, which he did, to say the least, I was thinking more along the lines of, people in the casino, that kind of thing, if he tried to rob it. But I couldn't fathom him mowing people down at the concert. That, I mean, for lack of a better term, it was shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, even if you get it close, you're hitting somebody. I mean, it was a completely unfair fight with his target audience having very little cover and having to, run quite a bit to get that cover. Very sad, very sad, very sad. I believe that's going to be all for now. That's my 2 cents on Las Vegas. I really hope that the Vegas community, they're investigating this. I hope that they can stay civil with each other and try to work together on this stuff instead of trying to work apart, on this stuff, and, try to bring each other down to try, in an effort, I guess, to try to grow your channel. I mean, I would love to have my channel grow, but I'm not going to do it by ripping apart other channels to do that, I mean, like I said, the person I was talking about, I don't want to say his name. I think he's done a wonderful job investigating these things, had a wealth of information. But on this one, I don't quite think that he has thought every conceivable possibility through before he said what he said, because it's entirely possible the man carried 2 guns at once and just happened to lay him down backwards from the way they were shot. But that's all I have for right now. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below and share it with your friends. Like I said, I'm just an old country boy, but I'm not stupid. I'm not the most intelligent person in the world, but I'm not stupid either. I'm pretty good at problem solving and things of that nature, and I try to look at things from every perspective. And I really want to get along with everybody in the YouTube community as best I can. I don't want to start any beef or trouble with anybody, especially the one person that I was talking about. I think he's wonderful. He's done a lot of great work. And like I said, I haven't put out very many videos. I'm hoping that'll change soon. Like I said, I'm also working on trying to get a new laptop. I'm hoping that I can get this YouTube channel off the ground a little bit. Possibly become something that people want to listen to, want to hear my 2 cents, want to know what it's like growing up in the sticks. Yeah, we're hillbillies, but we're not as dumb as they portray us in Hollywood. Those are the idiots. But I digress. But if you do want to support my channel, I do have a PayPal account. It's paypal.me/RY, capital RYANED 78. It's capital R, lowercase YANED 78. But I'll put it in the description below so you can see it. But thank you for your time. I know I got a little long-winded, 23 minutes and 24 minutes. That's one of the longest ones I've done. But I just wanted to get those things off my chest, and we'll see you soon in the next one.